What is up? I'm Ryan Weisse. This is Club Fantasy's YouTube channel, and you are here for our top 5 Thrive Fantasy player props for the NFL Week 3. If you're not familiar with Thrive Fantasy, it is a great combination of player prop betting and DFS, where you're going to choose the over-under on 10 player props every week, and they're assigned points based on how likely they are to happen. If you use our link in the description, not only will Thrive match your opening deposit up to $100, they're also giving away free tickets to all of their big contests right now if you use our link and our promo code CLUB, CLUB. So make sure you check that out. Basically, how Thrive works is the more likely something is to happen, the fewer points it's worth. Everything starts with a base of 100 points, and if it's less likely to happen, that number goes up. If you're looking for ways to win, we have a great article on our website written by Chris Molina. He gives you his top 5 props every week, but he goes the safe route, the things he is very certain are going to happen. I go a different route with it. Basically, I'm going to give you what I call my 5 big swings. Everything I talk about today is worth more than 100 points. So it falls on the side of less likely to happen. I think they could happen. And if they do, you're going to score big points and try to take down some of those tournaments. So everything I tell you about will be worth more than 100 points. I'm going to start in order of confidence. Number 1 is going to be Calvin Ridley scoring a touchdown against the New York Giants. Ridley has already scored once this year. The Giants are allowing 1 touchdown per game to wide receivers, and Atlanta has no other wide receivers. This is worth 115 points on Thrive, and I think it might be the easiest 115 points of the week. Just behind that is Juju Smith-Schuster catching over 6.5 balls against the Cincinnati Bengals. There's a good chance Deontay Johnson doesn't play this game, which is great for Juju. There's also a chance Ben Roethlisberger doesn't play this game, which is going to hurt a little bit, but I think Juju's going to see targets regardless of who the quarterback is. The Bengals are giving up 15 receptions per game to wide receivers right now. There's a lot that's going on there that's going to feed the ball towards Juju. And Juju had 6 last game, and that was with Deontay Johnson playing the entire game. I think there's a very good chance he crosses over that 6 mark this week. I think he sees a ton of targets. It's worth 120 points on Thrive, which means they don't think it's going to happen. It's one of the higher point totals I've ever seen. Number 3 is Austin Eckler going over 61.5 rushing yards against the Kansas City Chiefs. If you watch the Monday night game, you know that the Chiefs cannot stop the run. They are giving up 130 rushing yards per game. Eckler has been right around 56 per game in each of his last 2 games. That's only 5 yards under this mark. And the Chiefs are giving up a lot more than that. I think the stats are just going to show that Eckler should go over that without much of an issue as long as the Chargers continue to run him. That's worth 110 points on Thrive. It's a great pick. These last 2 I'm not quite as confident in. That's why they're my last 2. Ryan Tannehill under 23.5 completions going up against the Indianapolis Colts. Tannehill has beat this mark once and missed this mark once, so he's 50-50, but it's the Colts that have me interested for 2 reasons. Number 1, the Colts are only allowing 18 completions per game to quarterbacks right now. What that tells me is they're running the ball, they're keeping the game low and slow. That's going to hurt Tannehill. Another thing that could hurt Tannehill is the Colts offense themselves may be led by a bad quarterback. The Titans may be able to lean on Derrick Henry in this game, which is then going to lead to fewer completions for Ryan Tannehill. So under 23.5 completions is worth 110 points on Thrive. If this game goes the way I think it is, he's not going to come close to that mark. My final one is the hardest one for me to pick. It's Davante Adams under 91.5 receiving yards going against San Francisco. It's hard to bet against Davante Adams, especially when you know what he can do. But looking at his career, he's been very boom or bust. He's either well over 100 yards or well under 100 yards. The Niners have only allowed 1 wide receiver to go over that 91.5 mark, and that was Kez Watkins last week, and it was all done on one very big play early on in that game. So the stats this year are saying the Niners are not giving up a ton of yards to the wide receiver, and Adams was shut down in week 1. So there's a good chance he comes underneath that 91.5, and that's worth 105 points on Thrive. So there they are. Those are my 5 picks, all worth a bunch of points on Thrive. If you like this video, please hit subscribe. We'd love to have you as a subscriber. We're doing giveaways all month long when we hit subscriber milestones. Check those links in the description. You're not only going to have our Thrive link, which is the opening deposit and the free tickets, but you also have a link to that Chris Molina article I told you about with all those great player props. I hope you win. Unless you're playing me, good luck this week.